Today we are going to do the movies I've watched in September. It's currently the 25th of September, obviously not the end of September, but like I mentioned in my last end of month video, I want to get the video out on the last Thursday of this month, which is today when it's releasing, when you're seeing this. Let's just get into it. I've got a few things that I watched in like the latter half of August because I filmed that August video on like the 21st, so it was nowhere near the end. So I watched a few more series and TV shows. The first being the BBC show Ghosts. I'm quite a big fan of this TV show. It's like one of the only actual good TV shows on BBC. It's really well made. It features the cast from Horrible Histories playing the ghosts, which I really like because I grew up watching Horrible Histories and like it feels nostalgic seeing their faces in this show. The characters are really greatly written, and I feel like in season 2 and 3 they started delving into each individual ghost's backstories and how they died. It's just really interesting and it's a really fun show. I think when there's Ghosts Season 1, which I watched when it came out like 2 years ago now, I'll probably give that an 8. Probably give Season 2 an 8.5 because I like the backstory of the ghosts. And I think I'll give Season 3, which I've watched the most recently, also an 8.5. Next, I watched Batman, the original Batman 1989. I got Batman and Batman Returns in like a HMV sale. I've heard only to watch the first 2 films as well and not any of the Joel Schumacher films. I think I liked this Bruce Wayne in this film a bit more than the one in the Dark Knight trilogy. Bruh. He felt more 80s and I like the 80s. I also like the Joker in this film as well. I didn't expect to get his origin story in this film and Batman being responsible for giving him the scars. I like the use of Prince music throughout the film as well for the Joker. Overall, I had a really fun time with this. I enjoyed Tim Burton's movies and this was another one that I really enjoyed. So I'll give Batman 1989 I'll give it an 8.5. Batman Returns. I think I enjoyed this film more than the first. This is just a ride. I just loved this film so much. I didn't expect it to be a Christmas film, which is kind of annoying. I forgot to mention the first film had a great score by Danny Elfman, and this film has a just as good score. I like the tragic backstory of the Penguin, and I also like Catwoman in this film as well. I think she's better than the one in The Dark Knight Rises. She's just more weird and wacky, and I really like that. There were some really unintentionally funny scenes in this film as well. I just found myself laughing throughout this film. Such a fun film. 9 out of 10. And then I watched the All Hail the King Marvel one-shot. This was like released as a companion piece to like Iron Man 3, I think, and showed what happened to the fake Mandarin actor from Iron Man 3, what his life is like in prison. It's basically an add-on to Iron Man 3 and a prequel to Shang-Chi. That rhymes. It's nothing special, it's 15 minutes. It's not like a full-length movie or anything. It's just 15 minutes. I'll give it a 6.5. And then the day after, I went with my dad to the cinemas to go watch Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. This is the first time I've been to the cinema in a long time. I think the last time I went to the cinemas was when I went with my mum and brother to watch the Sonic the Hedgehog movie. So it's been a long time. This one was quite fun for a Marvel film. It had beautiful visuals, very different to other films in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, which I really like. I like the characters in this film. I didn't think I was going to like Awkwafina's character from the trailers. I thought she was going to be like really annoying, but she was fine. The CGI was really good, even though some scenes looked a tiny bit dodgy. I was watching it in like iSense, which was like 4K screen, so that was probably where I saw the details in the CGI a lot more. I think this is a really enjoyable film and a nice different movie for the MCU. So I'm going to give this film a solid 8.5. And then I finished Rick and Morty finally. I watched the 2-episode season finale live. I really like this show, really fun show. I like how they created more in-depth episodes with the Council of Rick episodes. And I like how they expand the lore of this Rick and Morty world. I really think it took a dip in like the middle of season 5. Like I mentioned in the last video, the sperm episode was a bit dodgy. There was that weird Power Rangers one. But all around, this was a really well written and well created show. I'm gonna give it an 8.5. Then I finished watching Marvel's Daredevil. This show was so good. Season 1 was just perfect in my opinion. So much tension. Fisk is just such a scary character. There's so many great shots in the series as well. Really well filmed. I did think it took a bit of a dip in season 2. I didn't really like Elektra that much. And I just found myself being a bit bored. I really like the Punisher character in season 2 though. I've heard it's got his own spin-off series as well. So I'll definitely check that out. And then season 3, I think it goes up to the same level as season 1 with Fisk breaking out of prison. Yeah, this show was just so good. 9.5. 0.5 just for the dipping quality in season 2 I think. Rush Hour. I think this is the first time in these videos that I'm actually rewatching a film. I did watch this film before, but it was like in 2014. It was a long time ago. My parents had a DVD of it, so I just watched it. And like the only thing I remembered from it was like Jackie Chan saying the N-word.
What's up?
But this was a really fun film. Chris Tucker and Jackie Chan just work off each other so well. The dialogue in this film is just so funny. The martial arts in this film is just so good. 8 out of 10. Fun film. Really good. Rush Hour 2. This film was just as good as the first in my opinion. Again, they work off each other so well. I like how the first film took place in America and the second one took place in China. It's a nice contrast between the two films. I think I'll give this one an 8 out of 10 as well. I haven't watched the third one because I've heard bad things from it. Next, I watched Predator. This was a really fun action film with an alien creature thrown into it. Arnold Schwarzenegger, such a fun lead for this film. The climax of the film is just iconic. What else can I say about it? Like 9 out of 10. Then I watched Predator 2. This film is definitely not as good as the first. There's some really bad acting in this film. And there's like this side plot with like Jamaican gang leaders and that. I don't know. The climax was as good as the first film in my opinion. I think just for that third act of the film alone, I think I'm going to give it a 6 out of 10. This film was fun overall. I had fun with it, but it is kind of bad. And then I watched Predators, which was made like 20 years later. I thought this film was pretty good. I like how it modernised the Predator. I enjoyed having multiple Predators now. It had some really fun action. I did think that twist with Topher Grace at the end was kind of stupid though. And I feel like they used way too much lines from the first film, just referencing the first film. It got kind of annoying. So I'll give it a 6.5. And then I watched a comedy film, which I found on Netflix, which seemed really interesting. It starred Simon Pegg and Nick Frost. I haven't watched the Cornetto trilogy yet because I'm waiting to get it on 4K when I can. But Paul, this is a really funny film. There's some of the jokes in this film, I was just laughing out loud. Such a fun ride. I didn't expect Bill Hader to be in this film, playing like this detective, trying to capture the alien. I didn't expect Sigourney Weaver, is that her name? I did not expect her to be in the film. That was a really good reveal. I like Seth Rogen's voice acting as Paul. I just find it so rewatchable. 9.5. Right, I've just realised that I've rated this way too high. Like, I'm putting it up there with Jurassic Park and that, I'm just realising, so 8.5, I'm sorry, okay? I don't know what got into me. And then I watched The Last Samurai. It just so happened that on this day that I watched the film, I had a really bad cold. I literally couldn't breathe. My throat was sore. My ears were blocked. I had a headache. I felt awful, basically. I was watching this quite late and I wanted to go to bed. This was like a 3-hour film as well. And all that combined, I was just really grumpy and I literally wanted this film to end. The acting was great, the script was great, the cinematography was great in this film, but I just found it really boring. I didn't have a fun time with this film at all. I'm just going to put it in the middle of the road and just say 5. It's probably because of my cold. If I watched it now, I might have enjoyed it a bit more and I might have found a bit more enjoyment out of this film. Also, I like Billy Connolly and he died in like the first 20 minutes. Next, I watched The Cable Guy. Like I've said before, I'm a big fan of Jim Carrey. I've watched a lot of his films, but this is one of like the few films that I haven't watched of his. I did not expect Jack Black to be in this film. This must be like one of his first movie roles because like it's nothing like the School of Rock Jack Black. This film is also directed by Ben Ben Stiller, who also directed Tropic Thunder, which I reviewed a few minutes back. He also stars in this film, like in a weird subplot which is happening on the TV, and I like how it all ties in at the end. This film was really funny. It had a lot of dark humour in this film as well. Jim Carrey does such a good performance at playing this like sadistic, mentally deranged guy. I'm not really familiar with a lot of Matthew Broderick films. The only one I've really watched is Inspector Gadget, which I had on like DVD back in the day and I used to watch. I wasn't really a big fan of his acting at the start of the film, but it grew on me and I liked his performance at the end. It's just a really fun film. I'm going to give it an 8 out of 10. It's very rewatchable. And then the day after, I decided to watch another Jim Carrey film which I hadn't watched before. I've seen bits and pieces of this when it was on TV, because it's been on TV a lot. But yeah, Liar Liar. I really like the concept of this child who wishes his dad would stop lying for a day, and then it actually happens, and then chaos ensues for the rest of the film. Jim Carrey's performance is just absolutely amazing in this film. That bathroom scene where he's literally fighting with himself, he should win an Oscar for that. That is just top quality acting. I do think the child acting in this film is not the best, but obviously it's a child. Fun concept, very funny. I don't think it's as good as The Cable Guy. The Cable Guy I had much more fun with. I give it a 7.5. And then I watched Life. No, not that Life. This Life. It stars Eddie Murphy, Sherman Klump himself, and it also stars Martin Lawrence, Big Mama himself. I saw the poster and that before I watched the film, and it seemed like it was going to be like a fun comedy film, but it was not that. It was really not. There were a few laugh out loud moments when like Eddie Murphy and Martin Lawrence were like going at it back and forth, but like most of this film was quite serious, quite emotional at some scenes as well. It was a hard look at racism during the 1930s. It's a really interesting film about these two black guys who get framed for murder and they end up spending a life in prison. It's not really a prison, it's like, I don't know, it's like a camp. The last 30 minutes, when they finally are free, it's too late. They're 90 years old. It's just really upsetting. All around, this film was a really good film. So I'm going to give this film a 9 out of 10. I really think it's an underrated film. So that's it for all of the films and TV shows that I've watched in the month of September 2021. I am still currently watching What If. I am on episode 6 or 7 now, I'm pretty sure. I'm really enjoying it so far. I didn't enjoy the Captain Carter episode that much. The latest episode, by the time of filming, the Party Thought episode, I did not like that episode at all, but all of the other episodes were really well done, in my opinion. The Doctor Strange one, oh my gosh, that one was just such a good episode and so emotional. Yeah, but that's it. If you like this video, please like. If you didn't,